Okay, let's look at page 768, and we're going to work this together. Let's read the first problem, number 8. Denise has 4 hours to paint crafts. She would like to spend no more than 1/4 of each hour on each craft. How many crafts can she paint during that time? So she's starting out with 4 hours, and she wants to just spend 1/4 of an hour on each craft. So that's 4 divided by 1/4. We're going to rewrite that as 4 over 1. We change our division sign to a multiplication sign. That's the opposite. So we have to put the opposite of 1/4, which is the reciprocal, which is 4 over 1. Now we're multiplying. 4 times 4 is 16, and 1 times 1 is 1. 16 over 1 is improper. 16 divided by 1 is 16. So she's going to paint 16 crafts in 4 hours. Let's look at number 9. Laura has a 6-foot-long piece of ribbon that she wants to cut to make bows. Each piece needs to be 1/3 foot long to make one bow. How many bows will she be able to make? Well, her ribbon is 6 feet long, and she's going to divide it into 1/3 foot pieces. So 6 divided by 1/3. So we're going to rewrite this. We're going to put 6 over 1. We're going to change our division sign to a multiplication sign, and we're going to write the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3 over 1. 6 times 3 is 18, and 1 times 1 is 1. 18 over 1 is improper, so we're going to change it. 18 divided by 1 is 18. So she's going to be able to make 18 bows. Let's look at number 10. Ray has 8 pieces of wood to finish building a doghouse. How many pieces of wood will he have if he divides each piece in half twice? So this is a 2-step problem. So he starts out with his 8 pieces of wood, and he divides them in half. So that's 8 over 1. We change the division sign to multiplication, write the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1. We multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're going to leave it like that because we have step 2 to do now. So step 2 is 16 over 1 divided by 1/2, because it says he divides each piece in half twice. So here's the second time he's dividing in half. So let's rewrite our problem as 16 over 1. We change our division sign to a multiplication sign. We write the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1. Now we multiply. 16 times 2 is 32, and 1 times 1 is 1. 32 over 1 is improper. 32 divided by 1 is 32. So he ends up with 32 pieces of wood. Let's look at number 11. It says write and solve a real-world problem for 9 divided by 1/8. Then explain the meaning of the quotient. So our problem is 9 over 1 divided by 1/8. And we rewrite that as 9 over 1 times the reciprocal of 1/8, which is 8 over 1. 9 times 8 is 72. 1 times 1 is 1. 72 over 1 is improper. 72 divided by 1 is 72. Okay, well, let's make a problem. John has 9 pizzas. Maybe he's having a party. Okay? He cuts each pizza into eighths. How many slices does he have? Okay, so if he has 9 pizzas, he cuts each one into eight into eighths. We want to know how many slices he's going to have. Well, we figured it out. He's going to have 72 slices. Okay, let's look at number 12. Explain the relationship between division and multiplication. Include examples with fractions. Well, division and multiplication are inverse, that means opposite, operations. Division and multiplication are inverse operations, and they want examples. So one example would be 3 divided by 1/3 equals 3 over 1 times the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3 over 1. 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 1 is 1. 9 divided by 1 is 9. Now we want an inverse operation. So we're going to take 9 and multiply it by 1/3. We're basically checking our problem, aren't we? So we change this to 9 over 1 times 1/3. We can cancel. 3 is a factor of 9 and 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. That's improper. 3 divided by 1 is 3. And look, we have what we started with. So we know our answer is right. We've done inverse operations and we've checked at the same time. Okay, let's look at page 769. The recipe Melinda is using to make fruit punch is for 1 serving. It calls for 1/2 cup of pineapple juice. Melinda has 5 cups of pineapple juice. How many servings can Melinda make? The model represents 5 cups of juice. Okay, there's 5 cups. How many servings can Melinda make? And she uses 1/2 cup servings. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She can make 10 servings of fruit punch. So 5 divided by 1/2 equals 10. In the checking, you would take 10 and multiply it by 1/2, and you should get 5. So 10 times 1/2, 10 over 1 is equal to 5. 10 divided by 2, 10 over 2 is equal to 5. So let's do these two problems together. Our first problem is 4 divided by 1/5. So we have 4, and we're going to divide each one by 1/5. That means we have to draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 sections. Okay, we have 5, 10, 15, 20. Our answer should be 20. Let's work it and see if it is. 4 over 1, we change our division sign to a multiplication sign. Write the reciprocal of 1/5, which is 5 over 1. 4 times 5 is 20, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 20 over 1 equals 20. So we are correct. Now let's check it. we're going to take 20 over 1 times 1/5, 20 times 1/5. We can cancel. 5 is a common factor of 5 and 20, so 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 over 1 equals 4, and that's what we started with. So we know we're correct. Let's look at number 2. We have 6. We're going to divide each one in half. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 should be our answer. Let's work it. 6 over 1. Change the division sign to multiplication. Write the reciprocal of 1/2. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. 12 over 1 is 12 divided by 1 equals 12. We're correct. Now our checking. We take our answer to the division problem and multiply it by our factor here. We can put 12 over 1. We can cancel. 2 is a factor of 2 and 12. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 6 divided by 1 is 6, and that's what we started with, so we're correct. Okay, let's look at page 770, number 3. Chef Aaron has 4 pizzas that need to be cut into slices. Each slice represents 1/6 of a pizza. How many slices of pizza can she serve? So we are going to write 4 because she started out with 4 pizzas. She's dividing by 6. So we're going to write this as 4 over 1, change our division sign to multiplication, write the reciprocal of 1/6, and now we can multiply. 4 times 6 is 24, and 1 times 1 is 1. 24 divided by 1 is 24, so she's going to have 24 slices of pizza. Look at number 4. A baker cuts 3 cakes into pieces. So he has 3 cakes. He's cutting them into pieces. Each piece represents 1/8 of a cake. So that's 3 divided by 1/8. So we're going to look for the total number of pieces. We're going to rewrite that as 3 over 1 times, we have to write the reciprocal of 1/8, which is 8 over 1. And we can multiply. 3 times 8 is 24, and 1 times 1 is 1. That's improper. 24 divided by 1 is 24, so he's going to have 24 pieces of cake. Okay, let's look at number 5. Circle the model below that represents 2 divided by 1/3. Well, let's look at it. This is 2 here, and each is divided into thirds, so we know right away that's our answer. Can't be this one because this is 2 divided by 4ths. This is 1 divided by 3, and this is 2 divided by 1/2. So the first one is our answer. Look at number 6. Test practice. Karen uses 5 pounds of meat to grill hamburgers. So she's got 5 pounds. Each pound is divided into thirds, so she's dividing into thirds. How many hamburgers can Karen make? Okay, so we rewrite 5 over 1. We change our division sign to a multiplication sign. Then we have to write the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3 over 1. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. 15 over 1 is improper. 15 divided by 1 is 15. So our correct answer is C. Okay, next page, 771. Elijah is sorting his music into playlists. One half of his music is rock. He wants to make 3 separate rock playlists. If each playlist is the same size, what fraction of Elijah's music will be on one of the rock playlists? So we're starting with 1/5 and we're dividing by 3. I'm sorry, 1/2. 1/2 divided by 3. So here we have a whole block, and here we have half of that block. Okay? Now he's going to divide that half into 3 equal parts. And I can show you that. There's 1/2. And if we divide that half into 3 equal parts, each one of those parts is 1/6. Right? So we have the number of parts for a whole, right? This is the whole thing, this is half. So how many equal sections are there now? Well, there would be 3, right? And each one of those is 1/6. Okay? So his playlist is 1/6 total sections. So 1/2 divided by 3 is 1/6. Check, you would check by multiplication since that is the inverse operation of division. 1/6 times 3 is 1/6 times 3 over 1. That would be 3/6 or 1/2. Okay, let's look at page 772. Okay, let's look at page 772. And make this a little bigger so you can see it. In the buffet line, there was only 1/4 of a pan of spaghetti left. 3 friends decided to divide the spaghetti evenly. So 1/4 of the spaghetti divided into 3 equal parts. What fraction of a whole pan of spaghetti did each friend receive? Write the unknown in 1/4 divided by 3. So we know that 1/4 divided by 3 is 1/12, right? So in a whole one, in 4 sections, there would be 12. We have 1/4, so there are 3 in 1/4. So each one of these sections is 1/12. So 1/4 divided by 3 is 1/12. So your unknown is 1/12. Each friend receives 1/12 of a pan of pizza. And if we write out our equation, we would have 1/4 divided by 3 over 1. We would rewrite it 1/4 times the reciprocal of 3 over 1, which is 1/3. 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, let's look at number 1. And for number 1, we have 1/3. And you know what? I don't have ninth. I don't have tiles for ninth, so I can't show you that one, unfortunately, but we can use this. So find the quotient of 1/3 divided by 3. So 1/3 divided by 3. 1/3 divided by 3 is 1/9. And let's make sure, let's write our equation. 1/3 times, and the reciprocal of 3 over 1 is 1/3. 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 3 is 9. So if we're going to check this, we're going to start with 1/9 times 3, and we'll put that over 1. We can cancel. 3 is the common factor for 3 and 9, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so we are correct. Okay, your homework is to do page 773 and then put it in your assessment folder. I want to show you number 2. Number 2 is 1/2 divided by 6, and there's 1/2. And if we divide that by 6, let's see how many 12ths we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. So 1/2 divided by 6 would be 1/12. Let's see if we're right. 1/2 times, now this is 6 over 1, so we're going to write the reciprocal, which is 1/6. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 6 is 12. So we are correct. Let's look at the checking. We're checking, we're doing the opposite. That's 1/12 times 6, and we're going to make it 6 over 1. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So we ended up with what we started with, so we know we're correct. Now we can go ahead and divide this into 6 parts. We'll divide it in half, and then in 3, and that gives us 6 parts, and each one is 1/12. Okay, so your homework is the rest of the page.